Will you bear with me if I focus on someone that appeal to me?
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you.
Tell me which ones you hate as well.
None that I hate, but some I like more than others.
Okay.
So this one catches my eye.
So let me tell you what it's called. The singing winds, the lucid light.
Okay.
Our body is the earth. This earth, our body. There's also stormy weather.
I see what looks like a figure there.
Yeah.
A lonely figure.
Yeah.
Just standing perfectly still.
And that's maybe the moon, you know, the sort of moon we've been seeing with the monsoon rain and everything.
And through the clouds, yes.
Yeah, and through the clouds and wind and a starling.
These dark patches could be leaves of trees.
Yeah, or their pain, or their agony, or whatever. Yeah. So there's all.
It looks like trees.
Yeah.
Swinging in the wind.
So it's wind, it's trees, and you know how years and years ago when I couldn't paint, you gave me a good cake and told me paint your anger, paint your fear, paint your whatever.
That's right.
And again, this painting happened because for 6 months my father died and I just couldn't work.
Really?
And I worked on this. Okay. But only because I thought I can't work, it's not going to be important. At the end of the day, I'm going to tear it up.
Okay.
And this is what happened in one day.
But you did not tear it up,
so
thank goodness.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
But that was the beginning of that exhibition, Deliverance on Climate Change and Water. It's 2012. He died in 2010. So, you know, it was, yeah.
I feel looks great from about this distance, big holes.
It's like life, you know. If you see it from a distance, you understand it better. When you're up close going through it, you can't.
Yeah.
You know, so that's always nicer from afar.
From far. This catches my eye because of the colors in it. If you look at it closely, you see two figures embracing each other on the ground there.
Mm-hmm. It's a mother and a child.
Okay, it's a mother and a child, right. And then some distance away from them are three figures standing absolutely straight. One can't work out what relationship they have to each other, probably none. Standing there. The way they are standing gives me the impression that they are sort of completely, oh Christ, what's happening, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Here, it's protectiveness. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This one is protecting the other one. These are human beings.
I know.
Placed in a very situation where
Yeah.
The environment is speaking.
Absolutely.
It is exploding. Now,
Yeah.
all this indicates to me nothing other than explosions.
Yeah.
And why is it exploding? Because of what
we're doing to it.
human beings are doing to it.
Yeah. You know,
They are not
so we've got fire, we've got earth,
Yeah.
we've got obviously the wind taking and we've got water,
Yeah.
we've got fire, we've got, you know, things swirling in a way. I wanted to get the feeling of the sort of earth swirling.
Yeah. And
these
redness
figures
could be
trying to
almost
survive
volcanic.
within it.
This is
Mihintale, you remember?
Mihintale, yes.
Yeah,
Not the whole thing.
It's a photograph years ago that I saw that long before drones were there, that someone had, it was a shot taken from the air.
All
And I
right.
remembered it, and so it's a sort of thing of
but you
looking
had
right
enough
down on
memory,
it,
yeah.
and the fact that it's.
You have the photograph with you?
No. Can we, since we're here, can I just explain this one? Because it's quite an interesting piece of work, although I know it's not your style. But it's called Isolation Dreaming, the Kite Runner. So in a way, it was done during lockdown, and it was about dreaming of times when we could maybe be back out there, flying kites, having fun, being able to go out, because of course we were in curfew, we couldn't even go out. And so we have a child, and then these are maybe kites, these are maybe a hope of a better future. and maybe these are little pockets of freedom, maybe.
They are floating.
Yeah.
Free
Yeah,
floating.
that's free and possibility, but also there's a confusion and a sort of, there's a lot going on because in our minds at that time we had,
I know.
well, certainly my mind, was more all over the place than it normally is, right? So maybe the strata of the earth or something, you know, bringing us
But
back
this is
down to
sort
earth
of
because it's about flying off, but also we are grounded, we have to ground ourselves and
Yeah.
come back in maybe onto,
Okay.
onto earth, you know? So,
This is one painting I like very much. One of the reasons is the combination of colors. The other one is it's sort of definite. And I may be a person who likes things like that. I don't know. And it is like rain falling.
it's called monsoon.
That's called monsoon, yes.
Yeah.
I suppose what we are saying is, now if you look at the last week, we had a horrendous situation up north and east of this country. Devastation. Even now at a time when it's dry as a bone, we are having rain.
Yeah, look at this.
Why? It is because of what we human beings are doing
Of course.
to the planet, to the
In
environment.
200 years we've managed to ruin it. I mean,
Yeah.
industrial
Yeah.
revolution
And
was 200 years
fossil
ago, and in
fuels.
this short period we have absolutely destroyed our
Correct.
planet and made it impossible for our children.
However, whatever it says, it is so gentle that one would never give that interpretation to this painting.
That I have tried to do that with my work because, in a way, you have in photographs and in film all the devastation described perfectly. What I'm trying to talk about, that devastation in a more gentle way, which is more feeling into your heart, to try and protect the earth, rather than putting a photograph, a painting of,
slap you in the face and say protect,
with how terrible it is, to actually make you love nature. So that's how it kind of works,
that
you know.
Works for me. Again, torrential rains like a, what do you call a typhoon, what you say in Sinhala, kunatuwa. That's why rain is coming at an angle.
At an angle,
yes.
yeah, right.
And here is something, it could be a hut, I don't know, with bamboo strips, and you see the inside of it. That's what it looks like. There is a small hut, right? I'm saying hut because of the shape and the simplicity of it. And the rain hits it. Is that sort of...
Yeah, but that's your interpretation. Somebody else said, why is there that hole in the middle? I don't like it.
What hole?
But this, you see?
That's
so they're
empty.
Hole. Yeah, that's so that's what I'm saying, how everyone different feels.
Never
and
saw
the way
it that
I
way.
saw it was there's always wind, there's maybe like wind tunnels and sort of
I
the
see.
eye of the storm, and maybe this is rock and these are waterfall.
Water.
So you see, we all see something entirely different.
Exactly.
Which is what's exciting.
Now what could that be? It could be one of two things. One is, once again, churning up of the planet. It need not be rain, but we're churning it up, right? And it all comes to a point in the middle before it explodes. That's one interpretation I have. And the other one is, it could be us, the human beings, what's the word I'm using? Energies, right? Lots of human beings, they're energies going like that. But then I don't see what the message is there. I'm sorry, I'm lost.
In nature there is this spiral, but it's also a very spiritual thing, this journey.
Yeah.
So it could be a journey that you're trying to find the center of yourself.
No, if you have
the
a
chaos.
knowledge of, say, Buddhism, Buddhist philosophy, and so on, you would give it the interpretation different to the one I have given. I have not studied Buddhism in depth.
Yeah.
So,
no, but that's what's great. That it's, you know, each painting is for each person to
doesn't
have
matter.
their own little journey with it, you know.
Perfectly right.
I see there are two people.
I see.
They may be the same gender, they may be different genders. And he's dark and she's white. So I'm talking about diversity. There's maybe reaching across all kinds of divides, right?
Yeah.
So there might be a white woman and a black man,
Yeah,
right?
Understood.
And I see that all as being very shallow water. They're
Yeah.
sort of sitting on sand
Yeah.
with water. And there's again more rain. And
I thought
maybe
those were rays
this
of the sun. Anyway.
and maybe this is, I don't know, a typhoon. I was looking at some images of a typhoon, I think, earlier, and I think that's what's crept in there. But it could be something else. It could be a tree, you know, a tree trunk.
knows?
Who knows?
I think that struck me.
Yeah.
It gives a sort of an interesting focus to the whole picture.
Yeah.
That is sitting there rather than here or here.
Yeah.
Gives focus because there are two figures here.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
it fades
Yeah,
out.
actually you're right. I mean, if you don't have that, it's a bit sort of,
Yeah, I think so. That's what caught my eye. I'll be
Yeah.
very honest with you.
yeah.
Some words from Ramya Shamali Jeerasinghe. Vivikta is a series that captures the essence of our current experience, a collection about our days that have been made stark and bare by nature, forcing us to retreat inwards, to turn to our personal resources for sustenance, resources essential to our survival, compassion and love, qualities of being that we must first offer ourselves and then have the generosity to give and receive from others. Using pencil lines, a muted palette, Anoma has reflected this experience back to us. She has also paired the paintings with lines from my poems in the way only an artist would have been able to. Each painting uses the words as a doorway and then enables the mutual creation of a new narrative, a new story, personal and unique to each observer. These difficult days have been made meaningful with Anoma's Vivikta collection.
In the end, so much will be distilled from the total of our days. And so these were started on the 4th of April when I was actually not only in curfew but in quarantine. Listening to directions from the sky and the earth and the sea. So you have two faces here, or it could be the one face having different thoughts. It sort of was wanting to convey the confusion that we are all in, if you like, the fact, and also all these lines, the fact of, you know, all the sort of troubles or barriers to a sort of easeful life. So there's lots of suggestions in there, in how the paint has been laid and how everything is sort of going everywhere. Our confusion. Here, every renewal must be self-made. So you have a woman here who is inside a room, perhaps trapped in a room, perhaps it's a broken down room, I don't know. And you know, there's light and action going on through that window, but you know, you feel she wants to be outside, but she can't be. And again, you know, there is a sense of boundaries, of barriers, of restrictions, possibly masked, possibly trapped inside, which of course we all were for many months. The one who loves us will wait. A moon throwing back to us the light we cannot see. So this is actually a drawing I did of a guy that I saw sitting across the road, and he was sitting for a very long time, and yeah, well, again, it's sort of very indicative of what we were going through and what we were all feeling, and just the waiting. That's what we're doing now, and the pencil again becoming very important in the work. Mirrored on it, all the world's splendor and shade. We discover we are made of glass. And here, here's somebody, a woman, maybe looking at a mirror of herself, or a memory of herself from another time, another life, a different life to the one that we are sort of, again, contained in now. So this is very much about containment, and well, and also the fact that we all are feeling very fragile, like glass is. Even love will reappear in the end. So that is what we hope for, that through this time it will. It's very, very simply a mixture of mediums and a sense of things swirling and out of control, but sort of somebody trying to contain and deal with it. This night is a river. I am the current, forever swirling. Stay still. That staying still that we had to learn to do is what this is about. When everything we cover up comes to the surface, kindness will be our only shield. Floating into a vastness we cannot join. It's actually that I saw a woman crossing the road in terrible rain with her mask on, with all her bags, her umbrella, and the wind going, and then nobody else on the street at all, which is so rare in the street,
I know.
So these are all very, very personal reactions to, and there's a sense of all of us having to cross something that is quite huge, because that's what we're going to have to do, I think. Because their sea rose a wall and fell, memory and time will be marked by the word after. I think everything will be marked by the word after 2020. You were the sun having to be the moon when my day closed, and then you sang to me.
I love that. I like the line, the poetry very much. That's
Nice,
at
no?
least to me.
Yeah. And here we have, again, a very simple, very direct work. Something just sort of stopped in time. Look at the water on that.
Fantastic.
Oh, wow.
So what is being very artistic, I must say, is beating you to it.
Yeah, it certainly is. It seems the edges of a world of breathing, heaving human passions. It seems as in SEAMS, and it's very much about memories or windows into something else. It's a very dreamlike, not there almost painting, and the colors are very, very muted and very almost, not there, floating, dreamlike. Without our skin, we will look at each other and read the future. And it does seem to feel like we are at the moment skinless and raw, and it's a very bleak time of exposure, but also a time where the essential is coming to the fore and the bare bones of our life is sort of revealed, and there's lots of pluses in this as well, I think. A calm has engulfed us. Flat lines are the vagabond's pathways to abstractions. It's amazing how these pieces from her poetry kind of worked for these. I am not going anywhere. I understand. I think we, following this or not following this, but we do understand we should not be going anywhere. But here she is very disturbed, hiding, and yet, again, there's a sort of blending of different emotions, I think. Never will there be such stillness in your heart once it returns from this sleep. And I suppose the sleep I'm referring to is the sleep of 2020. And there will be a different us, I think. A few more. Just everything we loved and released, we will find again here. Our bodies will begin and end in water. And so I think this is quite a complex but also simple kind of work. There's lots of writing, there's layers and layers of mediums over it. There's water, there's implication of, there's somebody who's actually just lying there and maybe contemplating or maybe reading or maybe fed up, and then somebody by her, but actually not. This is the new Vivikta, and it's called Reflect, Reframe and Renew.
Okay.
And in my thinking, this is our ordered pre-2020 life.
Yes.
And then this is 2020, COVID coming in, and then these are our lives now, upside down. It was all kind of, maybe not good life, but it was an ordered life.
Yeah. Okay.
Right? But then upheaval.
Yeah.
And then upheaval, but then from this upheaval, hopefully we can arrive at a point of actually finding a new, what I called a new extraordinary, rather than a new normal, right?
New extraordinary.
New extraordinary, because a new life, we hope. If you sit there, maybe you can also then see the whole thing. I mean, you can see it from, it's very different from different angles, and that's why I wanted to use mirrors, because the mirrors are about us reflecting on ourselves and seeing ourselves within the reflection, everything being upside down. So it's about changing our framing and reframing our viewpoint in such a way that we try and see everything. Everybody A lot of people want to just go back to the old normal.
Yeah.
I don't think that's possible. I don't think that's even good. I think they were doing a lot of very, very bad, things during the old normal. So it's about how we are going to recalibrate, reframe, review, reflect on how we review ourselves to find a new, calm, extraordinary. So there's a whole journey
Yeah.
of a few years that are played out in the mirrors.
Right.